I mean, Isabel, it's also news that the Robot Hero has finally been completed, but I understand that that was just a thing that, you know, I'm not your friend. The ocean life has waves. Now, riding down the face of them is pretty sweet, but paddling up to the top, that's the tricky part. When you do that, you'll go far. Yeah, I might care about that advice if it wasn't from you, Serrano. You're a jerk. Norma, I can never remember her name. Good morning, and here's hoping it'll be a good day. Stop for a chat. Try to be a good listener. You can talk to me anytime, Hoo-Foo. You can talk with me as well. Yeah, today, I haven't done a huge amount. Mostly because I kind of got distracted looking at a website of Japanese stuff. See, as long as you like. Let's talk. My mom sent some fruit from home the other day. Thought I'd eaten enough for 2 lifetimes. Made open up the box and that smell hit me. So many memories, you know. I think I'll send her a pear basket. Gonna give my parents a taste of the local flavor. It's very fair. Make sure Simon hasn't licked them. He does that. Suguruya, the website is called. It feels like a Japanese eBay. You can kind of just buy a crapload of stuff, and it's almost all used, but like, cool. I found a lot of things on there that I want. I mostly got thinking because, like, okay, I know that Sega makes merch for their IPs, and I know there at least was some Phantasy Star Online 2 merch, but finding it is a pain in the butt, so I got looking for it, and I found a thing on eBay, and I'm like, ooh, I like. It was a keychain of Io, like, she's pretty solidly my favorite character. It's like, my favorite character. I noticed all the price on it. It was like 60-some bucks with 30 bucks more shipping, and okay, that's way too much for a keychain. Now, apparently the company that made this is also one that does, like, Danganronpa keychains and stuff. So, like, it's a proper company, but I couldn't find any more of it. All I could find was another keychain of Io, as well as one of Toy, one of Reza, one of Regius, one of Kuna, all of them. I also found a little, like, wall tapestry that if I can get is going on the wall behind me somewhere. Like, I love that game, man. And, yeah, I got browsing other things. Ended up looking through some, like, Monster Hunter stuff. Finding some plushies that, unless they were freaking life-sized, I don't see them being worth their price. I suppose this wouldn't have to be life-sized to be worth near enough $500. But it was a Gammoth plush. And I get Gammoth is not terribly popular. This was a plush from 2016. But it was like $500-600. That's way too much for one plushie. It just is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, plushie enjoyers. That's too much. Especially where, like, I scrolled a little further and found a Tigrex that was just ball. And it was like $13. Because used market. You know, you find wild stuff like that. My assumption is that the person selling the Gammoth plush doesn't want to sell it, but is being told they have to sell it. So they've listed it for an absurd price. that nobody would pay to, you know, they're making an effort, you know. But yeah, that website's kind of addictive to just scroll through. I've been doing a lot of just scrolling through that website. There's still a few other things I want to look through as well. Hey, a truffle! Rare mushroom, also known as a truffle. It makes a lot of sense that that's near Gala's house. Well, no, it doesn't make sense that it'd be here, because she'd be really good at finding it, and they're really tasty, so like, she would have already ate it. So I'm really focused on this. What you doing? Currently crafting a log extra long sofa. I think I already know how to do that. Yeah. I have not gotten to recording Star Ocean yet. I don't know what extra video you guys are seeing alongside this one today. I do know, this is completely off topic, one of the fans in my computer is driving me freaking batty. It's not constant, but it occasionally squeaks and chirps. Like, its bearing is just slightly, you know, worn down. And it's occasionally making contact, and I don't know which fan it is. It's partially what motivated me to reorient how my computer is set up. That way, if a fan bearing does end up starting to leak its oil, it'll basically, like, given where all the fans are that I'm worried about, they'll all just leak onto the case instead of possibly leaking onto the motherboard. Or, you know, other fans and stuff. Plus, doing this is putting more downward pressure on the CPU, which I have noticed has actually reduced my temperatures by a little bit further, so that's good. It has always kind of bothered me how computers are laid out. Because, like, even after, like, what I've done makes sense. Like, I don't know why computers aren't always laid on their side. Go with some socks. Can also neon my tights. Nah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm all done. Hi there, Steven. What are you looking for today? Not so fast. You wanna buy something in this store, you gotta go through me. Yeah, Mabe's pretty fast. We'll sell you a hot dog in no time. Maybe even a chili dog. But, like, I can only imagine the amount of strain that my computer is no longer under because it's sitting flat instead of tall. Like, the CPU cooler is no longer, because of gravity, doing this, you know, or trying to do that. The GPU is no longer trying to do that on its pivot point. You know, everything's now standing. Everything inside the tower is now standing tall because the tower itself is laying flat. You know, it just, this feels like the better way to do it. Sparkles, thanks for chatting with me. Let's chat. Hi, Superstar. You'd hang out with me? Hang out with you on the pier? I mean, we could do that. I mean, can't tell Diva though. Nah, I don't think Diva would care. Sky! Over here to appreciate the robot hero. Nice to see you. Slayus! We're midway through History of Resident Services. Such a great book. That's very fair. We got ourselves a robot hero. Also, I didn't come back for the shooting stars. I should have. I completely kind of forgot. I say completely kinda because I did forget until I was laying down in bed. And then I was like, oh right. But at that point it was a bit too late because I was already late getting to bed. So I didn't want to put it off even more. Duskwalker, great to see you. One chat. Swing by sometime. Working on a new creme brulee recipe. It's a tasteful. I've never had creme brulee, so I don't know if I'd like it or not. Great to see you, Steven. Tell that. She's wearing the... Why? That does not look good on you. Let's chat. So it's just perfect for a stroll around the island, isn't it? Your cute sweater was so much better. Why? Why are you doing this? Why do you want me to get Isabelle to have words with you? I don't want to do that. Simon is not a fashion designer. But yeah, I'm actually still at this moment, even though I've already set a title for my Twitch for the stream for yesterday, I'm honestly still debating what I want to stream. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do Voices of the Void. That was like an hour ago. Now I'm like, but I kind of want to do Poke Rogue. And then there's another part of me that's like, I could just do like a roguelike day and just play a bunch of roguelikes until I get bored of them. Which probably wouldn't happen because roguelikes are pretty fun and hard to get bored of and all that. So... Okay, yes, that is the radio. That really caught me off guard. Though, with the various Animal Crossings I've played, can you blame me? That sounds like the UFO from Wild World City Folk. Of which I haven't checked on that poll for a few days. How is that poll coming along? I need to share it again. View my channel. Posts. Okay, New Leaf is still in the lead at 39% votes, with 33 votes having been cast, with City Folk and Wild World equal at 24 and GameCube at 12. I was kind of expecting there to be more GameCube, but... I'll share the post again, because it has been a while since I last shared it. Yeah, it was 9 days ago. So. And there's about a little less than half the month left, so. But it is very much looking like I'm gonna be leafing new yet again. I should make sure that all of that stuff still works. Gotta make sure the lemon still functions. I'm also gonna need to find how I'm gonna be recording that. Because, like, my thought process at the moment is I'm going to basically use, for anything face-cammed and PC, I'm going to use my VTuber model to basically figure out the best way of positioning the webcam. I'm not going to use the VTuber model for the series. I'm just going to use it for, like, the best angles. Because that'll help. At the moment, I'm thinking I might just set it under my monitor, but then I'll be looking above you guys. Could set it on top of the monitor. But then I'm back to the issue I was having at the beginning of this series, where I'm looking up at you guys to see you. I mean, right now, like, if I sit up straight, the camera is basically right ahead of me. It's angled down a little bit because I tend to slouch, so it's just how I have it. I could have side camera. So, like, slide the webcam over to right next to the monitor. Because, actually, that might work. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys right here kind of what I mean, because I could do this without messing things up. I mean, the focus might mess up a little bit, but... So, I'd be looking right there for... There we go. Well, it's a little off-center. But, like, I'd be looking right there for stuff. So you guys would just be a little off to the side. And properly tilted. You'd be properly tilted at the towers. But... So, like... It'd be kind of like that for while I'm playing things. And then I could just kind of glance over you guys. I feel like that could work. I'll have to, like, actually test, but... There we go. Back to where I need you guys to be. I'm gonna sell some stuff. Yeah, I should check the turnip prices anyway. 133. This was a good week. Okay. Kind of regret not having bought them, but I needed to shower. And as I may mention, I had time to do one, but not both. Alright, let's go put stuff away. Have a little bit of poutine stuck in my teeth. So I just ate some poutine before recording this. Because, yes, I am aggressively Canadian. Okay, it's more a case of, it's a cheap, easy thing to make. So, like, 3 days ago, I made up some gravy for making poutine with. And then... I've been just eating away at that for, like, a couple days now. It's just kind of how I be. I decided to not go full out on the gravy this time, just so it'll last a little longer. Because, like, the way I've been doing it, or I normally do it, with adding milk to the gravy, it does make it taste so much better. It's so much creamier, richer, it's so good. But, what does milk like to do? You know, milk likes to go bad. Likes to curdle. That doesn't work well for a gravy to have curdled milk in it. So, you know. Ooh, there's my computer kicking up a little bit. Though the furnace is on, so it's having hotter air introduced into it. I was going to yesterday move, like, my entire setup around. I was going to basically move my computer setup and stuff into that corner back there. But the problem with that is we need our electrical panel moved. Well, I've probably already got, quote-unquote, too much stuff blocking, quote-unquote, the electrical panel. So... I don't think I would particularly want to add my my whole computer setup to that problem, because what basically I would have to do is swing things around. So, like, what I'm looking at here of my TV with the webcam on it, all that, it's sitting on a little white, like, TV stand. That would have to be basically sitting flat against that wall, right under the panel. Well, not right under it. It'd be basically right about where Frisk's tower is, which also would have to move. But it could move anywhere. So I actually don't think that would have to move. It might be, like, directly next to her tower. Wouldn't be the first time. She has a tower right here. I didn't get to measuring that part of it because I came to the realization that, yeah, I would need to do that. Which basically, that would kind of block access to the electrical panel. So, because this table would have to be pushed right against the wall. I mean, it might not have to, but I'm pretty sure it would have to. There might be like a little gap in there. Because the table plus TV stand are wider than the dresser and reclining chair that are over there right now. So I can't just one-to-one replace them because these are wider. Because yes, I am still actively trying to find ways of getting better use of my floor space would be the best way to put it. Because, like, I can't gain floor space, but I can reorganize the room to, you know, optimize it as best I can. And part of what I was going to do was basically swap to using the reclining chair as my primary chair for, like, my computer and stuff. And I was basically going to do that because this chair is breaking. So, you know. And I mean, this chair is still usable, even if the back of it does break off. But, you know. I'd have a stool instead of a proper chair. And I do have other chairs. But I was going to basically take this kind of broken chair and just chuck it, you know. I'm sure somebody could fix it. Like, basically all you would need to do is, like, melt the plastics around where the crack is, put in a few little, like, supports, and then remelt the plastic so the supports are nicely secured inside. Hello, Pinky. Hey, superstar. Would you, come over to my house? Boop. I want to talk. But, I mean, I want to talk while surrounded by all my own furniture. Alright, we can go. Then let's go. Hey, don't be shy. Come on in. Hello. There's a motto at my house, and their totes is, it's grab a seat and tell me everything. Give me your likes, dislikes, tell me what you want, what you need. Why'd you get up in the morning? What was your fashion? Instant misses, every piece of music you ever heard. Secret superpowers. Oh gosh, spill it all, boop. I mean, why'd I get up in the morning? Because I have things I need to do. That's about it. I don't have any secret superpowers. Yeah, we can play high card, low card. Alright. Oh, I don't want that. Okay. 2. It's gonna be lower. It's totally gonna be lower. Smaller. I swear if this is 21, thank you. 27. Yeah, bad luck totally happens. I didn't purposely go for the one that wouldn't win. Ooh, someone wants to play with my totes precious dolly. Go ahead, no judgments here. It's fun. Fun is fun, so play as much as you like. Don't worry about folks watching. How much time has passed. Wait, what time is it now? What day is it? It's a day. At home, my room was a total grody storm. Mom would clean it up when I was little. Once you grew up, you have to do everything like for yourself. So now I fight the grody storm. Man, so you do a pretty good job, Pinky. Like, pretty clean place. Don't go looking in places you shouldn't, okay? Because, like, it could be, well, I totally don't want to say incriminating, but hands in your pockets, please. Superstar, it's fun to have you over. We have to do this more. What have you been up to? It's a little sad that you can't, like, climb up this and, like, hop in the bed. Like, there is the bed up there, but you're not able to climb up and hop in. And so my house is super exciting. When I moved to a new house, the first few days there, this is weird, but it doesn't feel like it's mine. It's like I'm staying over at someone else's place. After a little while, it turns into home. It's warm and safe, and you're in a little place in the world. I don't know if other folks go through that, but I do. Aw. Yeah, other people go through that, Pinky. I think I've talked about that before as well. We need to gift Diva a radio so we can hear her song. I forget if she's given us her song. I think she has. I'm also very much thinking of putting things back on the Night Owl Ordinance because I've not really used the Early Bird Ordinance, so... But I might need it more than I need the Night Owl Ordinance, so... Might leave it on Early Bird. I don't actually know yet. Shopping is all about opportunity. Shop me see something you like, take the opportunity to buy it. I don't want to buy your stuff. Seeing at home is always Trey's Fab. Gives you just time to unwind. This magazine called Cooking and Meditation Weekly said cooking is great for leveling up your mind. And since I can't cook, I just played Super Chef RPG 4 for 24 hours. Now I feel more sleepy than relaxed. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, you got a work table, but it's just because you don't have a kitchen, so like... Look around looking in places you shouldn't. Okay. Just doing this one again. I think I should go... Not already? Well, it was major fun having you over. Let's do it again sometime. So I have a present for you. Checkered Chesterfield coat. Mind blown, right? I mean, not really, but thanks. I mean, we already have her portrait, so... But, yeah, I'm trying to, like, think through things to yap about at this point. I do wish I could move my stuff to where I kind of want it to be. Because that would free up more floor space over here for, like, exercise and such. Which would be pretty cool. But I can't really do that until the electrical panel is moved. And then I might need to reorganize my room again, because I imagine they're going to throw a hissy fit if I have any furniture directly where they want the electrical panel to be. Which is going to be fun. Because, you know, it's so bad to block the electrical panel. It's like, okay, I understand the thought process of like, well, if you need to shut it off in a hurry, except I can. I can get into it pretty quickly. Honestly, the thing blocking it most of all is the panel that covers the electrical panel. Like, that thing can be kind of annoying. Like, you know, the big yellow panel up there. And then the door on the electrical panel itself is also kind of annoying at times. Yeah. Getting to that stuff isn't a problem. Like, this ain't a video game. You can step over things and step on things. You know. And if something needs to get done in a hurry, I'm not going to overly care if I break something. Because something getting broke is nothing compared to, say, the emergency situation of there's an electrical fire and the electrical needs to be shut off. You know. I would much more rather, you know, even, you know, if for some reason my Switch 2 was on the floor over there and I had to step on it to get in to shut off the panel, it's worth it. Now, the Switch 2 would never be over there to be stepped on, but, you know. I do have to say, though, I almost feel a little bad for my old original Switch. Because the thing just doesn't get used anymore. And, like, I'm kind of tempted to still see about using it for some stuff. Because, like, my account is still on there, like. The only issue is, because my account is still on there, I'm pretty sure I would need to game share with my own system to play things that like things I don't have the game cartridge for. I think. I know... Okay, here's an annoying thing. And I don't know if Nintendo has ever fixed this. If you have an account on a Switch, and then get your own Switch, if you don't remove your account from that other Switch, you basically can't download anything that is downloaded on that other Switch because you have an account on it. Now, by that same token, if you went through with your account and, say, downloaded even a free game, like let's say Pokemon Unite, you download that on your Switch, the person who you have an account on's Switch, they now can't download Pokemon Unite unless they log into your account to download it. Because the game cart, quote-unquote, gets registered to your account. Now, if you remove your account from their Switch, you lose access to anything they've bought, but they regain access to anything that you've bought. You know, it's a dumb system. Though, ooh, okay, I know I talked about this before, but I need to make mention of this again, because I've been seeing more and more posts of people continuing to complain about this, of the third-party docks for the Switch 2 no longer working. Except that's a sensationalized headline. The official third-party docks still work. It's the unofficial docks that do not work. Now, I want to make mention of something here, because I'm an old gamer, wag my cane at you. I've been at this a long time. You want to know the amount of times I've seen posts online, and even people in game stores complaining about having plugged their brand new power adapter into their PlayStation 2 and it fried it. And that's clearly a problem with Sony, and they want a refund from whatever, you know, on the PlayStation. Why am I going in the museum? Well, it's not that. It's they bought a cheap power supply, you know, power connector from like eBay or something that was unofficial, the wrong voltage, and that's what fried their PlayStation 2. It wasn't anything to do with Sony, anything to do with the game store, unless that game store sold them the power connector. They bought an unofficial power cord for their PlayStation 2, and it fried it. That happened so freaking often that the local game store where I grew up, before it closed, well, before it stopped being a local game store, it swapped over to being like a little convenience store, farmer's market kind of deal. Before they stopped doing that, and while they still carried PS2 stuff, they literally said that if you brought them a PlayStation 2 showing signs of basically you having plugged an unofficial power connector into it, they would not take it. They would not handle your return request or anything, because that's not on them. Take it up with whoever you bought the power connector from. Which, as mentioned, usually ended up being just some random eBay listing of some random nothing company. You know, the kind of things you see on Amazon these days and go, that looks sketchy. That's not new. That's been a thing for a very long time. And people have always fallen for it. Like, that's almost certainly why Nintendo does not want you using unofficial third-party docks. They have official third parties. But people complain of, oh, well, but those are more expensive than the really cheap ones. It's like, yeah, and you can't be sure those really cheap ones aren't going to fry your Switch. There has been reports of specifically the docks in question, which are little like dongle docks. Steven, you got a minute? I'm gonna do a dumb fight with Pinky. I don't even want to say what it was about. I'm gonna make it up to her for the present I bought. I don't know if she wants to see my face. Yeah, I could do it. But I've heard reports of these little dongle-type docks literally causing capacitors inside the Switch 2 to burst. Which tells me they're supplying way too much power through the dock, through the USB-C connector. Now, knowing this, if you were in the camp of Nintendo greedy, are you still there because Nintendo wants to protect your console from cheap third-party accessories that could destroy it? Got a delivery! Got a livery from Muffy. Muffy got this. For me? What? What's this? Okay, no. We got here a poncho-style sweater. Not much of a pop star look, but maybe I'll love it after trying it on. Yeah, sure, try it on. Future fashion leader, so I have to try on everything. Actually, that's really cute. It looks great. Right? These clothes were made for me. Muffy and me don't always get along, but she's actually really nice. I'm going to apologize too. I'm going to make it up so we can hang out together again. So bring this to me, superstar. Don't worry, Muffy and I are definitely gonna make up. It's weird, maybe, to call this a reward, but here's the tank I was just wearing. You're surprised. I mean, kinda. You're gonna love your reward. Know why? Because it's stylish. Distressed clothes are so popular right now. I guess she has too many shirts, that's what she's telling me. Her dresser's full. I feel that. My shirt drawer is completely packed. My pants drawer is not. My socks and towels drawer is, because there's like 6 towels in it. But yeah, like, it drives me freaking nuts hearing these people complain so much about, oh, how greedy Nintendo is. Oh yeah, they're so greedy the way that they don't want you to possibly lose your data on your Switch because of a shady third-party dock. Like, they're not even the first company to do this kind of thing. Like, Sony themselves, if they found out you used an unofficial power adapter on one of their consoles, I can guarantee you, if something went wrong, they're not servicing that console. They're not doing it. You broke your warranty. You know, you screwed yourself, basically. You know. And that's also part of the problem. Because people know this, and I know somebody who literally sent a PlayStation 2 off to Sony to get serviced, after they did exactly that of bought a cheap third-party power supply or power cable because they didn't want to have to reroute their power cable when they moved it from TV to TV. Literally the same issue people are having. They just don't want to go through all the effort. Yeah, I want to change my look. I want to go back to my more me look. They just didn't want to have to move things around all the time. So they bought this extra cheap power connector that was like, I think it was like $5. It was not much, and they were like, hell yeah, that's such a great deal. And then they plugged it in, and their PlayStation 2 literally made a pop sound, and then didn't work. And they sent that off to Sony because, well, console broke, so it was still under warranty, send it to Sony. Not telling Sony that, the reason it went pop was because they used an unofficial power connector with it. Sony did deduce this by the damage on the inside and sent it back unrepaired, basically saying, you voided the warranty, we're not fixing this. With basically, they sent it back free paid for shipping, with basically a note saying, if you want this fixed, you have the option of either buy a new one or pay us to fix it, because we're not doing it under warranty, and this was back in the days of snail mail. So, they'd been without their console already for like a couple weeks. They get it back. Sony's saying, nah, we're not fixing this. And it's like, well, yeah, you broke it by your own negligence. It makes sense that they're not just gonna fix it for you. And they eventually just went out and bought a new PlayStation. Like, you've got this Muffy. Pressure was too much. Alright, Kix, what we got? Welcome, Joe. Have a look. No rush at all. Got some paws, no slippers, ballets. I don't really want compression tights. I don't really want to be an imp. I mean, there's the Dora the Explorer bag. Map and all. But nah, nothing I really want. Nothing stand out. No problem. Come on, visit anytime, mate. Will do, my man. Will do. Like, this is hardly a new thing. It just feels like a case of, well, Nintendo's doing it, so it's bad. It's like, well, no. If anything, like, what Nintendo is doing is good for you. Why are you mad at them? I don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense to me why people are like this. Other than those people are cheap. Why would I pay, Okay, I'm gonna hit y'all with a practical example in case any of you guys watching are literally like this. Why would I pay $60 for the good official third-party dock or the $100 for the first-party dock when I can pay, $30 for this unofficial third-party dock that should work all the same? It's like, okay, let me hit you with a practical example. Let's say you're buying shoes. Wouldn't you rather buy that nice pair of shoes for $80 to $100 that's going to last you 3 to 5 years over the $40 pair of shoes that might last the year? You get so much more value buying the more expensive, higher quality, guaranteed to last thing over the cheap, fast-made, fast-to-break thing. That's how commodity goods work. If you're paying more for it, there's usually a good reason. Now, there can be some exceptions. I will fully admit this. But things like this, my cheapy Chinesium headset that I've had for a really long time, that still works and is still mostly good. It is gaining some fraying issues on the cord. That's the exception, not the rule. My expensive Corsair headset. Honestly, if my body chemistry was a bit different, it probably would have been a perfectly fine headset, but where I have slightly acidic sweat, it didn't work out for me because of the material of the cord. But my Corsair mouse and keyboard have lasted me longer than every other mouse and keyboard I have ever owned. My computer hardware. I have had so much cheapy stuff die on me, yet I've not had a hint of issue with anything more expensive. It's not a great example because I've not had much computer hardware ever die on me. Computer hardware tends to be pretty reliable. I have had a graphics card die. It was a cheap budget graphics card. I've had a few hard drives die on me. The hard drives I would have were the cheap, budgety ones. I've never had an actual high-quality hard drive die on me. Like, TVs. I've had cheap TVs die on me. I have my pretty expensive Dell monitor from 2009 still working. Just fine. It's still perfect. The picture is the same as it's always been. It's still crystal clear. I honestly get the feeling my Kuri monitor here is probably going to die before this freaking Dell Warhorse dies. The TV I'm looking at right now will probably die before both of them. Because it's cheaper than this monitor, and this monitor is definitely cheaper than that monitor was back in the day. Like, maybe I'm the crazy one, but I would much more rather have an expensive product that I can be pretty sure is going to last, that probably has a multi-year warranty on it, over some, cheapy Chinese thing that's from a company that's a random assortment of letters for the company name, because this company has gone through so many other companies that they are out of actual names to use. They've all been blocked or banned or closed. Or possibly they're all still operating, just as, they're all slightly different names, and all the same big parent company. Like, I would much rather that. I mean, now, this microphone. I could have bought a cheaper microphone when I bought this Blue Snowball. And the Blue Snowball is a decently cheap microphone, but it's on the expensive side of the cheap microphones. At least it used to be. Like, this was like $60, $80, somewhere in that range. I bought this thing in I bought this microphone in 2014, and then didn't start actually doing anything productive with it until 2016. This microphone is 11 years old. I only just had to replace the power cable, and I didn't even have to do that. It just was giving me bad vibes by having some burn marks in it. Like, I can guarantee you if I had bought a cheap microphone, it would already be dead. Because, like, there were, like, some $10, $20 options. Heck, I've had plenty of headsets in that time with microphones on them that quality-wise, like sound quality, were pretty good. But they died. The microphone would die, and then the rest of the headset would. Like, and those would usually be $20 to $40 headsets. Like I said, I got lucky on that one. That was actually part of a combo with a mouse and keyboard. Guess what the mouse and keyboard are? They broke. They're in the garbage. Well, no, I think the the mouse was temperamental but still kind of worked and is currently being used as the mouse for a media center PC because it doesn't need to work all the time. But yeah, I've sat here and rambled long enough. Like, it drives me freaking nuts, and I need to vent about it anytime I run into crap like that. Because I don't want to actually leave comments and start arguments, because I don't have the energy for that, man. I just don't. So I rant here instead, where I still stand a pretty good chance of starting an argument, but at least I feel like you guys might be a little more understanding of where I'm coming from. You know, the fact I've seen this crap before and know it's not a bad thing that a company is trying to stop you from accidentally breaking the expensive hardware they've sold you. That they would then have to make you buy another one of if, you know, it did break because you voided your own warranty. Good job. But yeah, that's it for this one. I thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Horizons. See you all then.